Just a robot.
Okay guys, so my computer is really bugging out right now. And unfortunately it deleted the video I was working on. Granted, it's still mostly done, but I don't have a video to upload. Luckily I found one of my older videos and I got Stone to edit it for me. Link to his channel will be down below. Now I want to make this clear, this is not a remake of one of my older videos. This is just one of my older videos I had laying around that I never uploaded.
You know how sometimes people say something and there's a meaning beyond the literal interpretation of their words? Like if there's context or history or tone or something else behind their words.
You know how some people twist what other people say so they can have a point?
Like if I come up to you and say, that's a nice shirt, you can probably detect that I didn't actually mean that that's a nice shirt.
Or you know what they actually fucking mean.
Or maybe you and I are on a mission where we have given someone the codename of Hawk. When I say, the hawk is in the nest, you probably know I'm not talking about a literal hawk. I'm saying that the person has arrived. When we use language, we very often mean stuff beyond the literal interpretation of our words. When I say it's raining cats and dogs, I don't actually mean that pets are falling from the sky.
Yeah, that's true, but your example has pretty much nothing to do with what you're talking about.
So, with all of that in mind, it's important to know that the phrase, "it's okay to be white," is racist as shit.
Yeah, and apparently everything else is. Even saying the term marijuana is racist.
Stop saying marijuana. Why? Because it's racist as
Okay, understood. The term marijuana is, quote, racist as fuck. Good to know, because I actually didn't know that, and I'm willing to bet the majority of humanity probably didn't know that either. So assuming you are correct and marijuana was a racist term, it has since lost its power to hurt people and has instead, declined into a state of docile harmlessness. Good thing you're here to give it all the power it apparently lost, you sad child.
I know it may sound innocent to some of you, but it's a dog whistle. It's a phrase that would fly under most people's radar, but would signal to a certain group of people, in this case, white supremacists, that the person saying this phrase is one of them.
I always thought the term dog whistling was stupid. It basically means don't use this term because a bunch of bigoted people with magical ears like it.
The phrase, "it's okay to be white," recently gained notoriety thanks to the garbage can of the internet, 4chan. White nationalists and neo-Nazis on that site designed the phrase specifically to try and piss off people on the left and make white people look like victims.
Say what you will about 4chan, but at least they didn't try to push a girl into committing suicide because she drew amethyst skinny. Also, they have done a lot of good, especially exposing Burger King foot lettuce. There, I did the joke. Now stop commenting for me to say it.
They wanted a phrase that could embolden white nationalists while appearing innocent to the average person.
Well, they certainly pissed you guys off. It was like the most obvious trap and you guys fell for it. When someone says all lives matter in response to Black Lives Matter, you don't like it. And you have the easiest counter. When they say, "it's okay to be white," you should have said, "it's okay to be anything." The counter was so easy, but you didn't take it. Instead, you freaked out and did exactly what they wanted.
They wanted to make the public sympathetic to their imaginary cause of white people as a group being oppressed. They desperately wanted to be victim.
Okay, how do you know that? Honestly, if it came from 4chan, they probably just wanted to troll a little. Now, I myself don't believe white people are oppressed. Maybe certain white people, but not most of them. But I do think poor people are oppressed. The media, which is owned by rich people, is just trying to get the races to not like each other. They do the same stuff in prisons, and during slave times. They fired their white workers and only hired a few of them to be slave drivers. That way the black slaves and the poor working class wouldn't work together. It wasn't white people who owned slaves, it was rich white people. But don't listen to me, I'm either a racist white person or a black Uncle Tom. Listen to Massa. Oh, I mean, the rich man.
And frustratingly, they've kind of succeeded. Flyers with the phrase have been plastered around colleges in the US, some asshole was actually paid money to give an "it's okay to be white" speech at the University of Connecticut, and white nationalist Tucker Carlson cried about it during his segment on Fox News.
I don't watch Fox News, I don't know enough about the guy. I do know that white supremacists do like him, but that doesn't really prove anything. They also like the Washington State Journal. I did watch the Vox video on him, and I couldn't watch anymore as soon as they said immigration actually makes crime go down.
But this phrase actually has an even deeper history than just racist asshats gathering on 4chan. The Anti-Defamation League has found much earlier usages of the phrase, including in a 2001 song by a white power band, in white supremacist flyers from 2005.
Yeah, I'm sure white supremacists have used that term. And Gazi Kodzos likes Black Lives Matter. But I'm not going to judge every person in Black Lives Matter by the actions of Gazi Kodzos.
And a KKK member tweeted the phrase in 2012.
Really? One tweet by a KKK member? That's it? Yeah, and there was a gay neo-Nazi wedding one time. Should I judge gay people off that?
If this is your first time coming across the phrase, just know that it isn't the first time for Nazis and white nationalists. For them, it's somewhat of a slogan. It's a way for them to make themselves politically correct in a world that rightfully wants them to fuck off.
Funny, cause I feel the same way about you and your group.
Like, okay, literally, word for word, with no context, it's okay to be white is true.
How about this? It's okay to be white, and Black Lives Matter. I even tweeted that out. Oh, actually, I probably should have told you that last part. Now you're gonna say that Black Lives Matter is a white supremacist group.
But knowing that it has more meaning behind it, knowing that it's a racist dog whistle, that should be enough for you to say, no, fuck this, fuck that phrase, it's racist and I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Yeah, the term "it's okay to be white" is so racist. I mean, white supremacists like it. They also like milk and PewDiePie. So you guys should stay away from those things at all cost.
It's really not that hard. Don't give these people the time of day. Don't get into an argument about whether or not it's okay to be white.
They're not trying to get in an argument with you, Riley Dennis. They just want to get a rise and a reaction out of you. And guess what? It completely worked. They didn't even have to try that hard. All they had to say was, it's okay to be white. Not good, not better, okay. If you described a movie as okay or a restaurant as okay, would that also mean you're saying it's superior? Okay is a 5 out of 10 at best.
Because that's not the discussion. Literally nobody is saying that it's not okay to be white.
Bullshit. There are so many people today who are white as fuck who are trying to be different races. Like the white rosy-cheeked Native American guy on the BuzzFeed Native American Questions video, or Sean King, or Wolvicki. And literally, no one's arguing that Black lives don't matter. Okay, now real quick, I just want to make this clear. I'm not saying that there are people who don't think Black lives don't matter. I'm just imitating Riley Dennis.
We're only saying that the phrase, it's okay to be white, is racist as shit. And what's frustrating about this is that the racists who hide behind this phrase know that context matters. They know exactly what bullshit they're pulling. Because when they see the phrase, Black Lives Matter, they infer a whole lot of context about that phrase. Because taken literally, Black Lives Matter literally cannot be offensive. It's just a statement of fact, and if you disagree with it, you're saying that Black lives don't matter.
Yeah, no shit. Your side pulled that before they did.
Which would be a really shitty thing to argue. But conservatives and white nationalists are often offended by the phrase Black Lives Matter because the context they take from that phrase is, and therefore white lives don't matter.
Yeah, I'm sure some of them do, but I don't really care. I'm not a conservative. And honestly, all lives matter in response to Black Lives Matter is a lot better than in response to it's okay to be white.
That's why people get so offended over the phrase Black Lives Matter, because they infer context from it. But, important distinction here, the actual context behind Black Lives Matter is Black lives should matter, but currently they are not valued as much as other lives. So there's just no equivalency between the two phrases.
Alright, I believe that on average, black people, for the exact same crime as white people, tend to get more jail time. However, men tend to get more jail time than women by 6 times the amount. Yes, I understand that men do more crime than women, but we're talking about the exact same crime here. Don't try to move the goalpost.
But I think this can demonstrate how people infer meaning from phrases that otherwise don't have a whole lot of meaning behind them because of context.
Well, it doesn't if you're an idiot.
For an example of how important context is, let's run through a hypothetical situation.
Count Dankula and his Nazi pug. That's a much better example than whatever you were going to say.
The people today who are saying it's okay to be white are the ones who ignore history and context and pretend that the phrase has no deeper meaning.
Honestly, you can do that with any word and it would work.
They're the ones who don't give a shit that you paid for their coffee because that was in the past and has no bearing on what's happening now. They believe everyone should pay for their own coffee, don't you? And don't try to muddy their argument by bringing in context.
And we shouldn't muddy your argument by bringing in, well, any counter-argument.
Or like, imagine how annoying it would be to have a friend who just constantly says it's okay for them to do stuff that is obviously okay. Like you sit down to play Mario Kart and they go, "It's okay for me to play as Mario." Like, okay, who said you couldn't? Or you're going on a walk with them and they say, "It's okay for me to be wearing shoes." Like, again, no one said you couldn't. At some point, it would get really fucking annoying and you would tell them to shut up. Not because it's wrong to play as Mario or wear shoes, but because they literally do not need to say it.
Well, your example doesn't make any sense because they're not constantly doing it.
It's that simple. People who tell you that it's okay to play as Mario or wear shoes or be white, they already know that all those things are okay, and they know you know it too. They just want to provoke a reaction out of you. They want to start conflict where none exists.
Again, you could make a similar argument for Black Lives Matter.
They want to be victims and to have all the attention on them and how hard life is for them because they're not allowed to just state facts.
You're talking about yourself and your group, right?
But like, I benefit from white privilege.
Oh god, no. I don't want to do this. Please, no.
I'm not anywhere near being oppressed in terms of race. So when talking about race, I do anything but play the victim.
Yeah, but you play the victim in every other way. Hell, you think someone not wanting to date you is bigoted.
I admit that I am afforded benefits because of the color of my skin that people of color are not. That's an easy reality for me to accept.
Oh, really? Like what? Oh, you're not going to explain, are you?
But for tons of conservatives and white nationalists and neo-Nazis, they really just want to be the victim here. They want to manufacture outrage against white people so they can get sympathy.
No, they don't. Stop saying they do. It's just a small group of 4chaners trying to troll you. And you know what? They succeeded.
They want people to feel bad for them just because they're white. Well, the time has finally come, and this is going to be fun to say. Suck it up, snowflakes.
Riley, please, just stop. You're not good at this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry it was a day late, but yeah, my computer pooped out on me. But don't worry, the next video is not going to be a day late, because it's already pretty much done. My eyes have seen the glory of the cleansing of YouTube. Debunking SJWs and feminazis too. We criticize reactionists in hopes they get the boot. Just to roll on marches on.